Hey team, we've got event 3 for you here. Wall balls, shuttle runs and rope climbs. Shuttle runs. We knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
We've been training it for years. And then 2 years after we all retire, and here they are.
And here they are.
For me, strategy-wise for this, again, we need to highlight which is the highest skill demanding part of the workout, and it's probably, it is going to be rope climbs for everyone, okay? So we've got ascending reps through the middle when it gets to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back down to 3, 2, 1. So 16 reps. Yeah, 16 reps.
16 rope climbs.
16 rope climbs in total, okay? So we've got to be aware of our confidence, competency with rope climbs and how that changes, and if it changes as our heart rate gets higher and as our kind of legs maybe get a little bit more tired as we're going through the workout. So it starts off with 8 wall balls, 4 shuttle runs, 1, and then everything doubles. So 16, 8, 2, 24, 12, 3, etc. So that big chunk of the workout here is going to be 24, 12, 3, 32, 16, 4, and then again the 24, 12, 3. Like that's the meaty part of the workout. A bit like the deadlift burpees from the open, where it was the 8s, 9s, 10s, 9, 8s, where people felt like that was where the majority of the workout was. Okay, so we've really got to be aware on the leading up to that point, and through the shuttle runs and the wall ball, on your pacing, and whether you're confident with going into the rope climbs with a really high heart rate and you can still just execute them at good speed and good technique, or do you need to be aware of keeping the heart rate down a little bit, potentially splitting the wall balls up and taking a little bit of a sting out the shuttle runs, okay? That's the kind of main thing that you need to be aware of before the workout and during it as well.
I think what else might play a little bit of a factor for some people is the fatigue from the other workouts on this, especially for people that maybe haven't done, again, a lot of GHDs before. You might have, you know, quite bad abdoms. So getting up into that ball on your rope climbs could become a little bit of an issue there. So you might have to adjust your technique slightly, but we'll go into that in a bit more detail in a sec.
Yeah. Shuttle runs then, you know, for any team sports person, they're probably like, oh, I spent my youth doing shuttle runs, like I've got these, no problem. And for anyone that has done that, you'll be aware of, you know, this is only a 25-foot shuttle run each time, so there's a turn every 25 feet. So it's a rep counted every time you get back to the rope. Yeah. So there and back is a rep, okay? 25 feet is not a huge distance, 7 and a bit meters, okay? So a lot of that can be taken up by the acceleration, so the turn and the acceleration out. And by the time you've accelerated past halfway, you're starting to decelerate slightly so that you can turn sharply and then accelerate again. So think of it more as just like accelerating and slowing down each time, rather than just kind of like plodding the same speed forward and back over and over, okay? So I'll do some plodding reps, and then you'll be able to see the difference when there's more like accelerate and decelerate reps, okay? So PC plod, plodding away.
Notice it's just one pace pretty much the whole way through. PC plod.
PC plod. And then accelerating, so you'll decelerate into the turn and then you accelerate out a little bit faster, okay?
Just got that bit more purpose coming out of the blocks every time.
And by the time you've accelerated and you put a few strides in, you can really just start kind of relaxing and letting your momentum take you to the line, rather than just like constantly plodding up and down.
I made the point just to Steve before we started this. At Wadapalooza, there was shuttle runs in one of the events there, and Sophia was in the event, and she made so much distance on the shuttle runs just by having a little bit more go, like Steve said, having that bit more purpose going in and out of the turn. So you can make up a lot on these shuttle runs or lose a lot on the shuttle runs if you don't have that purpose about you.
Yeah, I think that middle section there, so we've got the 12, the 16 and the 12s again, like one length, so that's going to be 24 lengths. 32 lengths, another 24. That's a decent amount of time
Yeah.
that you're going to be running up and down the gym. So really staying like tight and disciplined on the turns, and like I say, just a little bit of urgency can start, you know, taking minutes off
Yeah.
time easily.
They've put a 25-minute time cap on, so you know it's going to be one of the longer workouts. So just bear that in mind as well when you're doing the shuttle runs, that there's a lot there. You can lose a lot, you can gain a lot, like we said.
Yeah. Rope climbs.
Rope climbs, my fave. I think efficiency from the start of these, because there's 16 reps. If we're not efficient and we've got halfway through them and it's all going to pot, that last half of the workout's going to really drag on. For you, Steve, what technique would you be going for if you were doing this? Both on the way up?
Yeah.
We just want to do it minimal pulls, would you say?
Yeah, minimal pulls. I mean, there's two ways to think about it. I personally just always resort to kind of the same technique in any type of workout, but I know there's two different types of when you're addressing the bar. You can either go for it with the jump, being a little bit smaller. I always just try and get the most out of the jump as possible, so that, you know, even if I don't have the tallest reach, I can still get to the line in 2.
Yeah.
If you're a little bit taller, you know, like yourself, then you probably don't have to put so much into the jump, so you can save your legs a little bit, especially if we've got like shuttle runs and wall balls before, and then, you know, kind of like have an extra jump in there as well, and just reach up tall, but make sure that the feet are coming up nice and tall again to still get up to 2 at the top.
I think, like we said before, it depends a little bit on how you feel, because by curling up into that ball more, it's going to put a bit more, you know, tension and fatigue through your core. So if you're feeling fatigued from yesterday, you might just have to accept that you've got to do it in 3 pulls as an example, but make sure you know before you jump up, right, I'm not feeling great, I'm going to have to do it in 3 pulls, but if you are feeling good, let's aim for 2, for sure.
Yeah.
On the way down, what are you going to do?
So on the way down, my technique is, show you.
Go on, let's have a look. There's 1. There's 2 to the red line.
I reverse my hands back down to where they were, let my legs dangle,
And then
drop to the floor. And just always have that, keep the feet locked in, touch, come back down so I can, hang, drop. And for me, it's just like a good rhythm just to always keep and maintain.
Yeah.
I'm not running my hands down the rope and burning them. I'm not running my feet down the rope and getting a burn here. I don't have to try and like re-grip my feet at any point. It's just super simple for me to do when I'm going fast or when I'm like really fatigued. Just still keep the same kind of routine and technique.
Cool. I think if I was to do this, I like to drop down as quick as I possibly can. So I like to do the straddle and drop, and then I'll take a bit of 1 or 2 breaths when I'm not under tension, just stood on the floor, and then I'll be jumping up as high as I can for the next rep. I just find that for me, I can't think about a lot when I'm doing a workout anyway, so doing this grab throws me off a little bit, so that's another reason why I kind of drop straight down. Do you just want to show the clamp?
Do you know what?
Have you got it?
I don't know if I've ever done it.
So you Steve get to the top, he goes into a straddle, yeah, fucking drops down. Sorry,
I think one thing that I think a lot of people learn actually from Khan Porter and Tommy V in 2015 was he actually just like stayed in. When he was on the rope, you see when I pulled and went up then, I leant back quite a lot and got big pulls. He just stayed in really tight and just shuffled up the rope. And Tommy V was 27 rope climbs, 12.96. 12.96? Yeah, 27. So it was a lot of reps. So efficiency was key, and that's what he did there.
Yeah.
And it was more like he stayed in tight, there was a little jump, and he just shuffled up the rope.
Yeah, doing it a few more.
And it was just less taxing on his legs, less taxing on his arms, because they weren't like big contractions, big pulls, like big pushes down with his legs. It was just little by little, got himself up and down nice and quick. And then he saw like a lot of people in the regions that followed, like adopted that technique for that workout as well.
Yeah.
So that's something to have a little play with too.
Yeah, just being aware of where feels fatigued, adjust your technique a little bit if you need to, but if you've got a technique that you usually use, now's not the time to be changing it. Stick to what you usually do.